Well, this adventure is not starting out the way I thought it would. It's been a bit of a challenge. The sun is almost gone. Really, it's trying to hide behind those clouds, which may or may not bring a storm. So we are back at Hope Lake. This is the third time I've camped here, but this time I brought my sons, Dylan and Jude. Jude's over there filtering his water. Dylan's getting wood for the fire. We're gonna have a small fire. There's a lot of bugs and the smoke is getting rid of them. It's working really well. There are some fish in here. I'm kind of out of breath because I've been working my brains out trying to get camp set up, and we haven't even had dinner. It just hasn't gone well. And on the way in, I fell. So as you can see, tore my pants and my knee a little bit. So I haven't gotten to that yet. I have to use the first aid kit. But overall, it's been a good experience. You may ask why I'm at Hope Lake again. If you've watched my previous videos, this is my third video. Last time I camped over there in my hammock. And I've camped over here before. The first time I came up here back in 2020, I think. So it's been a couple years since that, and that's where the boys wanted to camp this time. But we are doing something different. We are hiking the Clyde Lake Loop. So we're hiking a whole loop, and this is a 3-day trip with 2 nights. So we stopped at Hope Lake for campsite number 1, and I'm running out of daylight. Everything took much longer than I thought it would, and the boys seem pretty happy with it so far. I'm wanted to show them places they haven't seen that I've seen. So one of those places tomorrow will be the Notch. We're just going to take a little hike up there that I've also shown in other videos. But then we're going to continue tomorrow all the way down through here to other lakes. We have a whole loop all the way back to the parking lot where we are at the Crystal Lake Trailhead. So that's where it's at right now. Dylan wants to fish. We want to get a fire going, and we want to eat dinner, and that's about it. There may not be much to this day 1 portion of this 3-day backpacking trip up here in the Uinta Mountains, but hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I've got bugs on my forehead. They're making me nuts. I need to patch up my knee and get some food in me and the fire going. And Dylan's pole in the water. He's excited about it. It's a brand new pole he's never used before. We're having a good time, but it's been just, as you can tell, kind of stressful. Single dad 101. So it's not their fault, though. It's just that when there are 3 people, there's 3 times the work. And it's just taken a lot longer to make things happen. So we still have all day tomorrow, even though, you know, we've lost today pretty much here at Hope Lake. But we have all day tomorrow and places we can see and explore. And then the plan Friday is just to wake up, have breakfast, and hike back to the car, finish the loop. And that'll be it. So that's it for now. You having a hard time, dude?
I almost got it.
Okay. Let me show you camp real quick. What?
It's facing that way and up.
Oh.
I almost got it.
Be careful, don't injure yourself. Let me show you camp real quick. Jude is using the Clip Flashlight 2 from Sierra Designs. I've actually set it up in this exact spot on a previous trip here. Dylan is hammock camping. He's all set up here. Nice and tight with the tarp, and hopefully he'll be warm enough. This is only the second time he's used that, and it was a much lower elevation then and not quite as cool as it is up here right now. And this is my second trip with the Deben 2 backpacking tent from Nature Hike. I'm really happy with this tent so far, and all I got going on in there is the bare bones as usual. Oh, I didn't zip this up. That's awesome. I'm gonna have mosquitoes in here. Okay, it's dinner time. We're not gonna have a huge raging fire. That's not very smart. But it is keeping the bugs away. It's working really well. I'm having an MRE. I think these guys are too. Are you having the MREs? No. What are you having?
Thai style coconut curry.
Yeah, we've never had that one before. Something new. That's what Dylan wanted to have tonight. He has an MRE as well, but he's gonna probably have it tomorrow. This is Jude's, and this is mine. Okay, so we had a little fiasco there for a second. I accidentally put a 4 gigabyte memory card in this camera, so it ran out. I now have a 128 gigabyte card in here. So anyway, we are going to have dinner. And I was showing you, Jude is having the MRE. I already showed you Dylan's. His is chicken noodles and vegetables in sauce. Mine is spaghetti with beef and sauce. Dylan just has to boil some water.
Yeah.
That's where he's hanging out. Is that where you're making your dinner?
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Okay. I have 2 bug nets, not 3, so they're the lucky ones. They're all over my hand. All right, let's do this. Just really quick. Italian breadsticks. Gross. I've had them before. They're not my favorite. Look how bare bones this is. Toilet paper, hand wipe, gum, matches, and salt. How strange. Here's my spoon. Cheese spread. Yay. Chocolate hazelnut protein shake. Definitely having that. I might eat this whole thing. I'm starving. Raisins. Chocolate chip toaster pastry. That's a Pop-Tart. A really thin one. Dang. And here's our main entree. Entree? And here's our main entree, the spaghetti with beef. So I'm going to eat this whole thing. None of it looks bad, actually. What do you got, Jude?
I have applesauce with raspberry puree.
Okay.
Apple jelly. Crackers.
Oh, more crackers. How many crackers do we have at home, guys?
At least 20.
We have a whole basket full of MRE crackers.
Yeah.
All right, what's that?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. You got the good one, man. Main entree.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken and noodles.
Yep.
All right.
Tropical punch powder.
Okay. I've had that before. It's kind of weird. It's not like fruit punch.
Huh.
What's that?
Powdered hot sauce.
That's different.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
We have
You got Skittles,
Skittles.
man. Sweet. Literally. Then your accessory pack.
Yep.
Spoon. You got all kinds of stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. And Dylan's just... Are you boiling your water yet?
I need my water bottle.
You expect me to give it to you?
Yeah, forgot it.
All right. Let's start with the Pop-Tart. It's chocolate chip. Doing okay up there, Dylan?
Yeah.
Actually looks pretty good. Too thin though. Look at that.
Like nothing.
I didn't realize, but I accidentally brought these.
What?
I should do
I can't see what that is.
Yeah, I know. It's stuck. Okay, here it is.
Oh. I don't care if you use them. Sitting right in the smoke, dude. It's gonna keep blowing that way. Sit over here. Spot right here, dude. Well, guys, it is 10:30 p.m. and we're all settled in. Unfortunately, there seems to be a thunderstorm blowing over, and I'm hoping, based on past experience up here, that it continues to blow over and doesn't scare the bejesus out of us. It's one thing for me to be up here by myself in a dangerous thunderstorm, but to have my kids in tow, then they rely on me for their safety and well-being, and they trust me that I know what I'm doing. Praying that it just blows over. A lot of times the storms up here pop up and just blow over and make a lot of noise and don't do anything. But it is monsoon season, and you know, it's never a good feeling to hear thunder rumble up here, just because it's not like camping anywhere else. We're at a high altitude and near a body of water. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try to get some sleep. Hopefully I won't have to update you if anything changes. It's been a very weird first day, and at one point I even considered just hiking back to the car. But now it's dark and we're kind of here, so wish us luck. See you in the morning. So it's 3:30 in the morning. I got up about 1 and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was beautiful. There were Nothing but an incredible array of stars out there. But it just started blowing and raining now that it's a couple hours later. So I just told Dylan if it got too bad to come in here with me, I've got plenty of room. Hoping this just blows over. Never know what's going to happen up here. I live 2 hours away and it hasn't rained in weeks. Come up here and it's all it seems it wants to do at the moment. Just an update. Good morning, guys. It is about 7:20. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this. So last night was one of the worst nights I have ever had in the mountains. I'm still struggling as I speak. Let me give you a recap of everything that happened, other than what you saw. Something floating in there. When we went to bed, there was a storm rolling in, but it never hit. Thank goodness. So we were all pretty exhausted by like 10:30 p.m. And I was not feeling well after dinner. I started feeling really, there's no other way to put it. I was bloated and nauseated. And I was trying to ignore it and just enjoy the moment. Kind of like right now. We climbed into our tents and Jude said that his water bottle had tipped over inside his tent and created a puddle on the bottom of the floor. He said, none of my gear's wet, but there's now a puddle in my tent. Well, the only thing I had that would absorb it was the camp towel. So I went over there and soaked it up, wrung it out, soaked it up, wrung it out. I spent about 15 minutes getting it all out of his tent and just telling him to sleep to one side and let it dry out. I got all the puddle out, but it was still wet and it was pretty chilly. So that was done, and then I went and climbed back in my tent, and when I got in my tent, Dylan's hammock tarp collapsed on him. So I got back out and I set it back up for him. He knows how, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna come undone again. So I fixed that, and I climbed back in my tent. And then this wind came through that was part of that storm front that was moving in.
more like a band of storminess, not a whole storm, but one of his stakes came out of the ground, and I had to climb back out and fix that. He was already nestled into his hammock, and I know how that is when you're in your hammock and you're comfy. It's hard to get in and out of them compared to a tent. I gotta slow down. I got up about 1 a.m. to use the restroom, and it was beautiful. Just millions, billions, and billions of stars. Not a cloud in the sky. Cool. It went away. It didn't rain. We're good. And then I went back to sleep about 3:30 in the morning. That's when that rainstorm hit that I videoed from the tent, that it was raining. And what ended up happening was the rain was steady. It wasn't heavy, but it was enough. And there was no thunder and lightning, surprisingly, which was my bigger fear. I've been in some lightning storms up here that are pretty terrifying. And I didn't want my kids being in the middle of that. I would feel kind of bad about that if they came all the way up here and there was terrifying thunder and lightning. It's not very fun. Up here, you're so much higher in elevation that thunder and lightning, there's not much space between the flash and boom. Let's put it that way. That's how forest fires start. So it was beautiful, and I went back to bed. And so at 3:30 it started to rain, and then these winds came through here. Really strong winds, and the problem is they were coming from that direction this way, and Dylan's hammock was set up this way, not this way. And the wind, basically, it acted like a wind tunnel. It came right through Dylan's tarp and was blowing rain all over him. And so I told him to get in my tent. There's plenty of room in that tent for 2 people. It's one of the few 2-man tents that I've actually been able to fit 2 people in. So I got him in there, and we just waited out the storm. It lasted about an hour. It rained and it blew, and it rained and it blew, and I kept asking Jude if he was okay, and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. He didn't have any problem with it. His tent was solid. I've been in storms in that tent too, and it holds up pretty well, so he did all right. Well, then the rain finally stopped, and Dylan said he wanted to go back in his hammock. So he did. It wasn't wet to the point that he couldn't sleep in it, but when the wind was blowing, it was blowing rain in his face and stuff. And anyway, he went back to bed just fine. And I went and rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. By this point, it's 4:30 in the morning, going on 5. I tried to go to sleep, and then I had to go to the bathroom again, so I came out here to go to the bathroom. To put it gently, I had to dig a cat hole in the middle of the night after a thunderstorm. And I could see off in the distance this way over the lake, but miles out, thunder and lightning again. Thankfully, those clouds went that way past our camp. So this was a threat all night long. And after I went to the bathroom, I went to wash my hands, and that's when the nausea just took over. And I started throwing up. And I threw up, and I threw up, and I threw up. But I mostly threw up water. By then, all my food from dinner had been digested. And the problem is, I am a very loud puker. I don't... I... Wah! That's the way I'd put it. And there are other people, we saw headlamps and things up in the trees. So there are other people up here. In fact, during that storm, Dylan said he could see headlamps up on the Notch. People who took a night hike to the Notch to look at the stars, and that storm band blew in, and they were getting hit pretty hard by that storm. Anyway, it's besides the point. I threw up over there, I threw up over there, I walked over here. I could not stop throwing up. I'm sure I kept the boys up, but I'm sure everyone in this entire area heard me, because this place carries sound like you wouldn't believe. There were probably people clear over there on Mount Watson that heard me, and I couldn't do anything about it. So when I was done throwing up, finally, I crawled back in bed and I slowly fell asleep until 7:30, which is just a few minutes ago when I woke up. The problem is I'm still nauseated. I still feel it, and my head kind of hurts. And it's not dehydration, because I've been hydrated. It's not that the filter failed or anything, because the boys have been drinking the same water we've been filtering, and there's no problem. I think it was that MRE that I ate. I didn't film too much of dinner because last night was so chaotic and I was so tired that I only filmed a little bit, and I ate the entire MRE. I shouldn't have. But after I ate it, I don't know which component. I have my suspicion. I think it was the protein powder, the hazelnut chocolate protein powder drink. I drank that, and it smelled a little weird and tasted a little weird, but it kind of chalked it up to it being an MRE. So I don't know what it was, but something in that MRE made me blow my groceries. So I finally slept really solid from about 4:30 till just a few minutes ago. The whole night was just chaos. And as beautiful as this is right now, I feel terrible. And I'm gonna wait and eat breakfast, and I'm kind of hesitant to do that, but I gotta get something in me and see how it goes. That will be the deciding factor on whether we finish this loop or not, or if this was just another Hope Lake camp out. The boys won't be too disappointed. We at least got out and went on an overnight backpacking trip in the Uintas. I'm the one that was excited about showing them the Notch and Clyde Lake and Watson Lake and Petite Lake and Cliff Lake, and camping here one more night, not in this spot, but further down the loop. That's why we brought so much food with us, because we had 3 days and 3 people, so we had to plan accordingly, and we've got a lot of food. I don't think I'm gonna have my usual oatmeal with peanut butter stirred into it. I think I'm just gonna have a Cliff Bar and see how it goes. And that's it. I feel terrible. I feel really sick. And I'm trying to move slowly. I need to drink more water. My mouth is really dry from all that throwing up. And that's about it for now. The boys are still asleep. There's a wave right there. I'm gonna go. I'll touch bases in a little while. I gotta charge this anyway. better for my stomach right now. Very bland. That's beautiful. If you're wondering, these are compression sleeves for circulation. I had a blood clot a few years ago, and I've been wearing these ever since. And I got my hiking socks over it. But there's the damage to my knee from yesterday's fall on the way in. Nothing's broken, but it looks pretty gnarly. And my pants are ruined. I've had these for years. Another thing that went wrong, I guess. I just realized in my haste to get everything cleaned up before the storm rolled in before bed, I left my other SD card with the beginning of this video over there on a cliff ledge, and it got rained on all night. I'm hoping that it didn't damage it. If it did, then I'm going to have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video explaining that. If it didn't, then you've already seen it by now. I'm finding that the less I talk, the less nauseated I am. These are helping. There's baking soda in these, and that's probably helping settle my stomach. I've got a little chipmunk friend in our camp. Oh, he ran off over that way. I was throwing crackers over in here, trying to get him to go after him. A little tiny one, like a baby. It caught his attention, but he didn't come over here. Oh well. My other suspicion about this nausea is that maybe I have some altitude sickness. We're at about 10,000 feet, and I've been up here a bunch of times before. It's never affected me. I've been affected by it at higher altitudes, but not with nausea, just with extreme fatigue and like brain fog and no strength in my body. But I have been struggling to breathe up here the whole time we've been up here. And that's never happened before. As many times as I've come up here, I haven't struggled to breathe this much. The oxygen's thinner, and I don't know, maybe that I've gotten older, and they say as you get older, you're less acclimated to high altitudes. Which is probably why a lot of people retire in Florida, Arizona. It's not just the warm weather, it's the lower altitudes. But that's the other thing that's crossed my mind. I ate about half the package of crackers, and now I'm just sitting here waiting to see what happens. I still don't feel 100%. So I'll know it was the altitude if we hike back to the car, and I feel fine. Maybe not right at the car, but as we drive down the mountain, then I'll probably know. There's a chipmunk above my head. He's very curious about me, so I'm gonna throw some crackers. He's watching me like a hawk. He keeps scurrying up and down the rocks behind me. But if I grab the camera, it'll scare him off. Now we wait. Came right up to me. He was really curious. It was cute. So the little guy just came down and started nibbling the top of Dylan's fishing pole. I think he was testing it to see what it was. He's all over these cliffs behind me, but I can't seem to spot him. By the time I get the camera, he's gone. I made eye contact several times. Okay, so here's kind of an update. I think we do have altitude sickness. You may notice that I said we. It's because Dylan got up, has all the same symptoms. Lots of fatigue, can't catch his breath, headache, nausea. We didn't even eat the same foods, so I think the problem is we live at 4,000 feet. We come up here to 9,000 or 10,000 feet, and our bodies are just in shock from it. Jude is the only one not being affected, and this is kind of ridiculous, but we're having to sit there and tell him to pack up our stuff. Okay, hand me this. If he can bring me something, I can stuff it, but if I get up and move too much and exert myself, like to roll up a tent, for example, it takes all my breath and all my energy. And I remember feeling this way when I tried to summit Kings Peak about 8 years ago. So we got to get out of here. We got to get to a lower elevation. Dylan is rough. I'm not doing as well as I probably am coming across, but we're gonna walk Jude through packing up the entire camp, and I'll owe him big time. And I guarantee once we get down to the car and get the car down to a lower elevation, we'll probably feel 100 times better. But Dylan, one of the first things he said this morning was like, this is one of the worst campouts we've ever had. It's one thing to have things not go right. It's another thing to have your health and your well-being in jeopardy. So I'm not messing around. I don't know what happened. I've come up here a bunch of times, made videos and everything. The more I talk, the more nauseated I'm getting. So I'm going to go over there and be the instructor, and Jude's going to be the hero that owes us big time. That's the update. We got to get out of here. Well guys, I'm going to wrap this video with this. I already explained what's going on, so do yourselves a favor. Don't get off the couch. Just don't go outside in nature. Don't have an adventure unless it's at a lower elevation. But the views, as always, they are spectacular. Thanks for coming along on this adventure, guys. And I know it's a short, weird one. This whole camp out has been a catastrophe. We've been talking about it. Jude's taking down Dylan's gear. He's already taken down mine. Yeah. I'm starting to not be able, I have brain fog. I can't think. We'll see you in the next adventure, guys. Take care.